All right, I'm back. How are you guys? I'm not going to vlog for much longer tonight, so this will be a shorter vlog, like a real short vlog tonight, because one, I'm tired, and two, my eyes are kind of hurting. I need to take my contacts out. I actually didn't take a nap today, can you believe it? So I went home, Alex was still up. I hung out with him for a little bit, and then I sat there and I watched the Studio 54 documentary, which is actually really interesting. I'm about, I don't know how far I am into it. Probably almost done. It's really an interesting documentary. It's so windy tonight, but I don't really feel it on my car. I don't know, maybe this car is more solid than my last car, but 10 roof rusted. Do you guys remember that song from the B-52s? But there's pop cans rolling across the street and stuff. I mean, not just tons of them, but I think I've seen 2 maybe or something. And there was a mailbox in the street. I'm like, is it really that windy? It doesn't look that windy. You know, I'm so weird about my nails, but sometimes I just kind of go like this to the edge of this one, and I bit the side of it, and it really hurts. I don't know what I did. I have just put this hand through torture this week. I mean, seriously, can we talk about this? Come on. I'm gonna have a scar there for the rest of my life. Anyway. Excuse me. I made a cup of decaf coffee because I didn't want to be up super late. Alex is so sick. And, poor guy, he just is feeling horrible. The dogs are being so sweet. They're all laying around him. Well, Boo and Tucker were, when I was sitting down watching Studio 54, PB kept on coming around the corner. And this is what happens every time I buy new treats, because, they get the treats when they go outside and then they come back in. So then PP stands in the kitchen. He stands right at the edge of the kitchen, and I'm sitting on the chair watching, Netflix on my phone, and he'll go, and that means I want a treat, is what that means. Or he'll go to the door, and then he'll go to the door, and this is, do your dogs do this? He'll go outside, and then he'll stand there for a second, and then he'll turn it, but he doesn't do anything, right? He's trying to trick me. People think dogs aren't smart. He literally walks outside, goes outside, turns, stands there he's peeing when he's not doing anything. He's just standing there. And then he turns and he comes back in. It's so funny. It's hilarious, honestly. And Boo Radley's not that smart. He couldn't think that way. But it cracks me up. And I'm like, no, PP, you don't get another treat. You've already had enough. And you didn't do anything. You're not getting a treat if you don't do anything. So then he just stands in the kitchen. And then that's when I realize that PP's the one, he thinks he owns the house. It's his house, and I'm the treat master. I probably am the treat master. We don't feed our dogs table scraps. Alex has been, he's really against that. And, I don't really know how I feel about it, honestly. Tanya feeds her dogs stuff. They seem completely fine, and, we have a friend of ours that, she's very well off, but she, will go to the Capitol Grill, and before she leaves, she gets a filet to take home to her dogs, and then she cuts it up for them. I'm like, oh my God. I haven't been to the Capitol Grill in forever, so needless to say, we haven't experienced that in a while. And then she complains that her dogs get fat. I'm like, yeah, because they're not healthy, because they're eating filet. They're eating better filet than most humans are eating. But anyway, so many people that I know feed their dogs human food. What do you guys think about that? Alex has just been really against it. And we fed our dogs dry food always. and until their teeth got really bad, and then the vet asked, you know, recommended that we switch over to wet food, which they seem to eat a lot more now that we eat wet. They love the wet food. And at first it was like so disgusting to me. I was like, oh, I can't stand doing this. But now it just takes 2 seconds. I mean, it's not as easy as keeping dry food in there. Tucker's teeth are like great. It's so weird. Like, I don't really understand it because they've all 3 of them eaten like the same food. But I do think, and I was talking to Tanya about this the other day, like, Tucker's always played with bones, and he's always played with, like, the rubber toys, you know, and stuff like that. And I almost kind of wonder, like, the ones that are hard, like the Kongs. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, he doesn't play, we probably have a Kong somewhere. We have 9 million toys in the house, but Tucker's the only one that plays with toys. PP sometimes will play with a toy, but not really. He likes, like, the plush toys, and he'll play with it if it's brand new to get the squeaker out of that, but then when the squeaker's out of it, he's done with it. Except for Lady, who's like lamb chop, and she doesn't have any stuffing in her whatsoever. Like, I know people don't believe me when I say this, but it's the sweetest thing in the entire world. PP has to sleep with Lady. Like, he's always on her somehow. And, it's so sweet. I have, like, probably 30 pictures of him laying on Lady in my phone. Do you guys take more pictures of your dogs than anything else? Like, I was looking through my pictures the other day. My pictures are all, screenshots of crap to make videos about, which I go in there every once in a while. I delete like 600 pictures that are all screenshots. And 2, I mean, I always have to, like, you know, screenshots of people's Instagram pictures so I can use them for a video, or screenshots of this or whatever, or me making a thumbnail. That's a lot of it too. But then all of my other pictures are of my dogs. Because, you know, I'll just be laying there in bed and I'll see a picture, and, like, or I'll look over and Boo Radley will be sitting so sweet, or Tucker will be sitting up and his ears are cocked, and I'll take a picture. And then, like, right when I get, like, the perfect picture, they move. PP takes the sweetest pictures of all, though. I have so many sweet pictures of PP. I love my dog so much. My coffee is gone. There's just a little bit at the very bottom. I used my, for my live stream tonight, I made a cup of that community coffee that I was sent. I think it was Francesca sent it to me. Oh my God, it was so good. So I can now strike that off my bucket list that I have had Francesca's coffee, that I've had community coffee. This is just some cheap decaf that I got. They're K-Cups that I got at Meijer. I don't know what the brand is. It starts with a D, I think. It was cheap. I hated this coffee mug when I got it. I don't know where I got it, like Walmart for just a couple bucks. But it's like literally the easiest one. It's the one I still use today whenever I leave the house and take coffee with me. I don't know why I just showed that to you. That was stupid, wasn't it? Do you guys have bucket lists? Like, do any of you out there actually have, like, a written bucket list? I started one a couple years ago. And it was interesting, like, the stuff on my bucket list wasn't things you would think it was. You know, it wasn't, like, these huge things, like, you know, go see the pyramids, which I would love to do, or, you know, take a river cruise down the Nile, which I would love to do. I've talked about this on here before. It was things like, trying, like, blueberry pancakes, because I had never had, can you imagine making it to, like, in your 40s and never having had blueberry pancakes? But I hadn't. And actually, Melissa was the one who took me to the International House of Pancakes, and we got, like, a couple different kinds of pancakes. We got chocolate chip pancakes, too, because I had, like, well, I had at Waffle House, I had tried them there, because I usually get, like, the peanut butter on them. Oh, that was a waffle, though. That wasn't pancakes. But I'd never had, like, actual, like, you know. So we tried, like, different kinds. I didn't, like, I will tell you, I definitely don't like the pancakes that have like fruit compote on them. I don't like that at all. That's just not my thing. It is so hot in this car. Oh. Okay. Here's the situation. Wake up, Peter. I said to Alex, I said, honey, I said, you don't look good. We probably shouldn't go to brunch tomorrow. And he goes, well, why don't we wait till tomorrow and see how I feel? I go, you want to go to brunch tomorrow? I said, do you think you're going to feel better to go to brunch tomorrow? And he was like, I'm hoping so. And I'm like, he is so sick, and he just loves brunch so much. It's like his favorite meal of the week. The sound of the wind is nice, isn't it? Someone talked about, when I was talking on here the one night, about like the sound machine on your phone, where you can do like the cityscape and like the rain and stuff. Somebody said that they had it, but they didn't say what it was called. Can you tell me what it's called? Because I don't know, and I want it so bad on my phone so that I can set it to go to sleep to, because I think it would really help me fall asleep to it. I want to get some of these, I want to get the guided, is it called the guided meditations or the guided imagery things? You know what I'm talking about? I want to get some of those. I had some CDs back in the day. Do you want to hear something really weird? Okay. So, speaking of past life regressions with the psychic twins, which believe what you want, a lot of people are like, I don't believe in any of that kind of stuff. But I, back in the day, I think it was actually at New Age People that I got them, which is where I went and I had my psychic readings, but I got like two CDs. I don't know what the other CD was. Do you guys remember when we actually like listened to CD players? I can remember back in the day when I would have a CD player in my car with the tape that you hooked up to it, and you would put the tape in the tape player and it would play your CD through there. Do you guys remember that? And I complain about this computer system that I have no idea what I'm doing, right? Like, look how far we've come. I need to be a little bit more grateful for things like that, don't you think? I will tell you that this car, as far as like the radio and the Sirius, well, I had Sirius in my last car, but it's so much easier in here. And I have like, how many channels do I have programmed? Hold on. 12 channels programmed. And it's so much easier to listen to radio books. What is going on up there? Oh my God, you guys. I'm like sitting here. I swear to God, I thought it was a UFO. It's like this huge, they're like building something over here. It looked like a cloud with like this red light flashing, but it's actually like one of those huge things. I don't know. I don't even know what you call it. Oh my God, my heart about stopped for a second. So anyway, I was like, I finally am seeing a UFO in my life. Would you guys not die if I, like, while I was vlogging, caught a UFO? That would be crazy, wouldn't it? If all of a sudden, like, a UFO just came out of nowhere and I got it on film. But anyway, oh, gas is going down. Good. Gas has been expensive here this week. It's like down like 10 cents. Oh, there, it's even cheaper. But I got these CDs. I don't remember what the second one was, but the first, they were like guided meditations, and they were supposed to kind of put you in like to sleep or something while you're listening to them. And you're kind of like supposed to, I don't know, just go off or whatever in your head. Oh, I think that's what one of them was about. I think one of them was about, oh shoot, why can't I think of the word now? Like out-of-body experiences. I got real obsessed with that for a while. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like back in the day, like I think Shirley MacLaine talked about that in some of her books, that you can like train yourself to have out-of-body experiences. It never happened for me. I tried so hard. I tried so hard, but it never did happen for me. I don't know that I believe in them a whole lot. I'd like to believe in just about anything, but I don't know that I do, because I didn't come anywhere close. But I just can't stay still that long, honestly, to have any kind of out-of-body experience. But I had this CD. I'll just see if I can find it. It's probably in my basement somewhere, I'm sure. And it was like this guided meditation to like past life regression, okay? This is so weird. So 2 things that happened to me during this past life, like I fell asleep or like went out of it for a second or whatever, and like I can remember because it was in my old office. Wasn't my very first office, it was my second office. This is my 3rd office that I'm in right now. So which I think I'm going to turn into my YouTube studio because I'm just like not even using for anything. And I have like the, you know, one room that like could be like, it's like, it looks like a living room. And so I'm going to turn that maybe into like where I do my Peterisms videos and stuff like that. And then I'm actually thinking about making like a desk area with like this chair and stuff where I might do my drama videos and paint the wall behind me. I don't know, I'm thinking about it. But then I would actually have like a place to like get up and go and like film. And if it was late at night and Alex went to sleep, then I could go over there, and like if it was a Saturday night, because you know I don't usually go out on Saturday nights or do anything, then I could just go over there and I could film a couple videos, and I would have them to put up on Sunday. And then on Sunday, Alex and I could hang out and get a brunch and whatever, and I wouldn't like, you know, come home and want to make videos. Like I would have my videos ready already. Does that make sense? Like, don't you think that's a good idea? I'm really thinking about that. That's gonna be like after I get back from Miami and all of that trip. I'll think about that then. And I kind of think about what I want to do with that. What do you guys think about that? Anyway, so it was in my second office, and I was like laying on my couch when I did it. And the first one was, I was like standing in this field. This is so long ago, guys. I can't even, this was like before I was with Alex, long before. This is probably 15 years ago, maybe more. My camera fell, you guys. I cannot believe it. I was going to try to make it. Last night I made it through the entire vlog without my camera falling once. So anyway, this is from like, I don't know how long ago it was. Probably was 15 years ago, something like that. But I like came out of it, and I had this like memory of like me and like teetering on the edge of this cliff. Like I was gonna like throw myself off this cliff or something. I was like standing on the edge of this cliff. All I could see was like the ocean, like the crashing waves below me, and like in my memory, and this cliff. And I looked down, and I had on this like long skirt and these really pointed boots. Like these pointed black boots, and there was somebody next to me. There was like another woman next to me, and we were both kind of like on this cliff, and that was all I remembered, was just like kind of teetering on this cliff. What was so weird was that years later, my friend told me to read the book Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss, like, I don't know how you pronounce his name. And he's a psychiatrist, and he wrote this book called Many Lives, Many Masters. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but I've talked about it, I think, on here before. It's fantastic. And I think I just read it like 2 years ago, actually. I think it's since I've been on YouTube that I read it. But anyway, it was about this psychiatrist, and he was like seeing this woman, this client, and he would do like hypnosis and take her back in time. And she had always like traumatic events, right? And so he would like take her back and take her back and take her back. And I can't remember how far back he took her. But she was doing better, and then she left, and she was like, I don't need to come anymore. And he was like, okay. And so, like a year later or something, if you've read the book, it's fantastic. It's really good. And then like a year later, true stories, this is supposedly all true story, and he is not like a psychic, he's a psychiatrist. And what is this in the road? Some huge rope. Oh my gosh. And then like a year later, she came back and she said, you know, like I still am experiencing the same anxiety. Like I can't get rid of it, right? It was around a relationship or something. She was like really struggling with this relationship. And so he said, okay. And she said, you know, but like the hypnosis like was taking me back, was because he was like taking her back to like the root of where it began, like whatever the anxiety was or the issue. He was like taking her back, and it was like he took her back to like, she was like 40 or something, and he took her back to like 16, and then like 12, and then like all the way back to where she was having like memories of herself at like 2. And okay, well, all of a sudden she starts going like having memories of herself like being an adult, right? And I think she's like in this field and she's like holding this baby and stuff, and she ended up having like all of these past life memories, right? It was crazy. And he's done it with other people, and like really documenting past life regression like through hypnosis. It's kind of like, look, I sit here and I say it's like true and it's real, right? But then that would mean like that's like scientific evidence that of like a spiritual being, higher power kind of, I mean, which, you know, I believe in anyway. I mean, that's faith, right? But I don't know, like, you know, it's so kind of like spooky, isn't it? So anyway, but the book was really powerful if you buy into that and if you believe it, you know. The idea of belief and faith is interesting, isn't it? Like what we believe in, and, you know, not so much about like opinions about the world. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like philosophically what we believe in. I mean, I think our opinions or what we believe in a lot, you know, is based on, I think much of it is based on how we grew up, the people that we had molding us as we grew up. And I think it also has tons to do with our own personal experiences. And I think that's where we, you know, gain most of our opinions about things that happen in the world. But belief is a different thing, you know, like, do you believe in somebody having past lives? He says in the book, what's interesting is that, like, basically you go through your lives with the same core group of people, core group of souls, but you play different roles in each one. So you're learning different things from each other, and in like each, you know, lifetime. So like, you know, like Alex, one of the things is that I feel like he really challenges me, you know, to like be a better person or to take risks in my life, you know. So if that was kind of like a consistent like personality trait of his, maybe in a past life he was like a coach of mine. Like maybe, you know, I played a sport and he was a coach. And he talks a lot about fear in there, you know, that maybe, you know, like, since I have this like innate fear of like sharks, that maybe I was killed by a shark in a previous life or something like that, you know. It's very interesting when you look at stuff like that. And I don't know, sometimes it's like I don't know what I believe, you know. I just, you know, I don't know. But like I said, belief is a weird thing. Faith is a weird thing. Sometimes when you hear these stories of people that have like incredible faith, I kind of sometimes wonder where they get it from, you know, like, I don't know. I don't often talk about like my belief in a higher power on here, and I take it from many different things. It's not like one idea of a higher power. And if I talked about it, I mean, if you guys want me to talk about it, I'll talk about it in here. I'm not afraid of it, and I don't shy away from it in my personal life. I just don't, you know, like, I know some people don't really want to hear it. They don't believe in it, whatever. But if it's something you guys are interested in, I'll talk about it in here. But it was a journey for me, you know, and that I took, you know, it's not like I came up with some made up kind of like God or higher power or whatever. It's like I took, I think, more like principles and uniform ideas that I believed in: peace, love, compassion, kindness, you know, forgiveness, things like that. But I do believe in my life, because this has been shown to me, that like, it's weird when I look back on my life and how things have turned out, that there seems to be, I'm not a big believer in coincidence, that there seems to be some tie that binds all of the things together. Like, it's just weird. Like, when I look back on how things have happened, it's like, well, if this didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened, and if this didn't happen, then that. Like, almost kind of like certain paramount things, not everything, but certain paramount things in my life had to happen, or were supposed to happen for the next big thing to open. Or, very much like when people say, when one door closes, another one opens. I mean, it's very much like that in my life, and as I was sitting freaking out about the door closing, I didn't even realize that the next door was already halfway open, and that would be a piece of advice that I would give to people, is that, when you're sitting in the middle of, it's like Oprah used to say, when you're sitting in the middle of the biggest tragedy, look up and say thank you, because you're about to learn one of the greatest lessons of your life. I believe that. I also believe, that when you're sitting in the middle of one of the worst times of your life, get ready, because bigger opportunities are coming your way. Something's around the corner for you. You just don't know what it is yet. Like, that it's a change from one period to the next of your life. You're going through a transformation, going through a transition period, and I believe that. Am I always calm about that? No. Sometimes I fight it, Sometimes I'm resistant as hell, and I don't want to learn the lessons and whatever, and I mean, it would be better if everything that happened, I go, okay, this is, I know, and that's where in that moment, like, I do have strong faith when I get to that point. And I've dropped to my knees many times, in my life, and said, God, I don't know what it is, that, I don't know what your plan is for me, like, here, but, like, I have to believe there's something. Like, and I think I got that, actually, speaking of Oprah, from the whole thing that she talked about surrender. It's like, it's ultimately surrender and faith, and, where, and maybe that's not even a spiritual thing. Maybe, like, when you're going through something, you just look at your life and you realize that not every day is bad. There's some good in every day. And being like, when you're going through the worst day of your entire life, saying to yourself, there's going to be a better day ahead. There has to be a better day ahead. I believe that. That's not necessarily a spiritual thing. That's a life thing. But it's hard, it's like, and then when I look at the many lives, many masters thing, it's like, okay, so I want to believe that, I don't know. People are like, when I say that, they're like, well, you believe in reincarnation then? Well, I don't know that I necessarily believe that reincarnation works the way that definitive reincarnation works, but I do believe that we come back here for more than one life to learn things that we've chosen to learn before we come here. That's just my personal belief, and we don't necessarily know what those things are when we get here, but, like, kind of how I feel like it works is, like, I feel like me being an addict and an alcoholic was kind of like pre-decided, but what I did with that was up to me, and that there were many roads I could have taken, with that. That maybe this isn't the only way that my life was supposed to turn out. Maybe there was a different way, and I was supposed to learn different lessons in that life. I don't know, you know what I mean? But the thing that's hard for me is that, like, I'd like to believe all that kind of stuff, but I have doubt as well, It's like the doubt that creeps in. And none of us really know. I mean, we're not going to ever know until it's all over anyway, and then it's too late, right? What's the movie? Somebody's, like, dying in the movie, and I think it might be Terms of Endearment, and she says something like, they can put a man on the moon, but they can't find out if there's something after all of this. What movie is that? Does somebody know what movie that is? It's true, though, And then you wonder, like, if you really are a spiritual person, if maybe we're not supposed to know if there definitively is something after this life. Because if we knew that there was, and that's where faith is tricky, right? Like, if we knew there was something, Now the wind is getting really strong. Would we live our lives differently? So maybe it's the absence of knowing that helps us determine how we live our lives. Do you understand now why, like, I drive around at night and listen to classical music? This is where I go in my head, okay? I don't know. It's interesting to think about. These are the kind of talks that Tanya and I have. Listen to this wind. It is kind of blowing my car now. Good thing I'm close to home. It's gotten chillier too. When I started this, it was like 60, 61 or something it said, and now it's 45. It's dropped 15 degrees. I think we're supposed to have a cold like front come in today. Anyway, well listen, I'm gonna get off here now because I'm close to home. So I'm gonna get off here and go home, take my contacts out, go to sleep. I know this was a lot shorter tonight, a lot shorter. I'm gonna try to vlog throughout the day tomorrow, so all right, you guys. Oh, it's tomorrow's Oscar day, so when you're watching this, think of the Oscars, think of me. Tanya's going to visit her mom tomorrow, and she's like hoping that she'll be back in time to watch the Oscars. If she's not, I'll be at home watching them. And if she is home, then I'll be watching them with Tanya. So think of us. And yeah, I'm gonna get off here now. I love you guys. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. If nobody told you before I said it to you today, then I love you. Somebody loves you out there. And have an amazing day unless you have other plans. Bye.